Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to give you my recap and a review for both Impact Wrestling's Slamiversary and AAA TripleMania Tijuana, which were both really fun, really different shows. Can't wait to get into it. So, first thing, we're going to go Impact Wrestling Slamiversary, where we kick off with Ultimate X, which is pretty much ladder match without a ladder. Go up, grab, at this point, an X. Winner receives a future X Division title shot. In this match, you got Jonathan Gresham, Speedball Mike Bailey, Kushida, Kevin Knight, and Alan Angels. Now, before the match begins, I was thinking, aren't these usually 6 men participating in this match? And then almost on a dot, music drops for Jake something. If you don't know, he worked for Impact for a while. He's been touring the indies the past 2 years, and now he's back in a big spot in Ultimate X. And honestly, this match was absolutely insane. Ultimate X is usually nutty. And actually, speaking of nutty, while Alan Angels was up there, he kept giving people low blows, which that's definitely a change in character for Mr. Angels. I'll give him that. So anyway, Kushida then unhooks the X, but then he has to get down. He drops. Winner and new number 1 contender to the X Division title, it's Kushida, which I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. There's honestly no way you can screw up Ultimate X. It's kind of like the Royal Rumble to me. Like, it's very entertaining usually, and, with some surprises, it's even better. I do hope that means Jake something is sticking around for a little bit, because honestly, I've missed him. Alright, then we get revealed that A1, former Team Canada enforcer, is in the house. A little bit on the nose there. We'll be getting to that in a minute. Then we get an interview from Kenny King, the new digital media champion, who beat Joe Hendry on the pre-show, which I'm sorry I didn't watch. Then we see footage of him rolling up Joe Hendry with the help of Simon Jean. He pretty much says, yeah, I did what I set out to do. I stripped Hendry of his title, and now I'm the new DMC champion. Which, honestly, nice short and sweet promo. We then move on to our first title match of the evening, on the main show at least. We got the Knockouts tag team titles on the line as the Coven, that's Taylor Wilde and Kylan King, take on Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. And from what I've read, these two do team together on the indies a lot, so not exactly a Franken team, but for Impact it kind of is. Like, this was a hard-hitting bout. Like, these 4 ladies look like they wanted to kill each other. And then, after a Witch's Wrath miss, which, that's interesting, into a heart attack and a snowplow, your winners, Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. And, kind of spoiler alert, this is going to be a thread for the night. Just you wait. Next up, we got Tag Team Action Playa. As we got Bully Ray and Diener. It was meant to be Steve Macklin on this team, but he sadly got hurt, got replaced by Diener, taking on Scott D'Amore and a mystery partner who was meant to be PCO, but he got set on fire. So, Oh, and also, Special Enforcer Darren McCarty, who, NHL legend. Love me a little hockey. And of course, the mystery partner is revealed to be Showtime Eric Young, fresh off his 90-day no-compete clause with WWE, and now he's back in Impact. Not only that, he brings back an old classic, the Team Canada theme song. That's right. I haven't heard that theme in a long time. That popped me big. This was more of a greatest hits than an actual match. Like Bully and Diener hit the 3D. Scott D'Amore going for a big old spine buster, in which I'm going to say Scott D'Amore had it last night. Like, even though he hasn't wrestled in a while, he could still go. Like, he's really good. At one point, Bully Ray had, I want to say it was EY down, but then he got into it with the ref. Ref took his shirt off, threw it. Who happened to catch it? It's Mr. McCarty, and he puts on the ref, being upgraded from enforcer to special guest referee. He then goes at it with Diener for a little bit. Khan gets him in a choke slam. Big Khan, Violent by Design member. And comes A1 from the crowd. Gets in the ring. Clotheslines Khan over the top rope. Then a table is set up. We get a double choke slam through the table. A destroyer by Scott D'Amore, who actually invented that move, which is very interesting. And a big old EY elbow drop for the Scott D'Amore, Eric Young, Team Canada victory. Honestly, that was a lot of fun, even for a greatest hits match. It didn't linger on as much as other matches would, but I feel like it was given enough time to really breathe out there. Next, we get a Nick Aldis promo, pretty much saying, Shelly, this is your moment. You need to either sink or swim in this bout to prove that you're not just a transitional champion. Which, dang. Next up, X Division title match as Chris Sabin defends against Lio Rush. And Rush actually attacks Sabin on the ramp. Gets him in the ring. Bell rings. Drop kick. Tornado DDT. Final hour. Sabin kicks out at 2. Second final hour. Your winner. And new X Division champion, Lio Rush. And honestly, I'm surprised this match was so quick. I hope Sabin is okay. Like, matches like this only happen if there's, like, an injury. So, maybe Sabin came down with something, wasn't feeling it, and decided to put Lio Rush over. I don't know. We'll see. We then cut to World Heavyweight Champion Alex Shelley in the back. Interviewer asks, do you think this is the end of the Machine Gun era in Impact? And instead of saying anything, just walks right off. So, little foreshadowing. We'll see what happens. Next up, the tag team titles are on the line as the ABC, that's Ace Austin and Chris Bay, defend against Moose and Brian Myers, Rich Swann and Sami Callihan, and Subculture, that's Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. And honestly, even with the 2 Franken teams in, all 8 of these guys worked really, really well together, especially with the powerhouse Moose against pretty much everyone. At one point, Ace and Bay go for the 1-2 sweep. That gets countered almost immediately. Then the Rascals actually come out. That's Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Wentz being a recent comeback for Impact Wrestling. Then Flash Morgan Webster hits the Pinball Wizard, which is a great name for a move, to the outside. Then Mark Andrews hits a Fall to Pieces, which is like a shooting star press, for the victory. So your winners, new Impact Tag Team Champions, Subculture. And honestly, as sad as I am the ABC lost, I do think some new champions were needed to kind of freshen up the division a little bit. Next up, we got the battle of the Killer Kowalski guys, Part 3. You got Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian. And at ringside for Eddie Edwards is Alicia Edwards. Ringside for Frankie Kazarian is Tracy Brooks, the original Knockout. So, yeah, this match was fun for what it was. A lot of interference from the seconds, including Alicia going for the kendo stick, which, ow. At one point, Eddie Edwards gets caught up in the chicken wing. He taps, but the ref is out. So Kaz lets go. He gets the ref up. Then Eddie Edwards with the kendo stick shot, the Boston Knee Party to pick up the victory. I'm glad Eddie Edwards won this round because I think he needs to do a little bit more for Impact. Because I think he could be a great challenger for the world title. Speaking of title matches, we got our semi-main event. For the Knockouts title, it's Trinity taking on Deonna Purrazzo, the champion. And honestly, this was a heck of a good match. Everyone worked really well together. Queen's Gambit got blocked a couple times, which that's surprising. But then, after a bully bomb from the top and a very weird transition to the Starstruck, your winner via submission, Trinity, the former Naomi. And honestly, I'm glad Trinity got the Knockouts title because honestly, I think she's earned it. She's been building her way up towards the top of the card, and now she's here. And hopefully this isn't it between her and Purrazzo, because I'd like to see him go again. And fine Alamo for Impact Wrestling Slamiversary, our main event with the World Heavyweight title on the line, as Nick Aldis takes on Alex Shelley. And right off the bat, Alex Shelley drinks a little bottle of water from the fans and just spits it right in Nick Aldis' face. This gets Aldis really hot, really angry, takes it out on Shelley for a little bit. Lots of good back and forth, including a Shelley countering the Kingsland Cloverleaf, which that's impressive. And then after a super kick, a shell shock, your winner, still Impact World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Shelley. And honestly, I'm definitely good with Alex Shelley retaining here. Apparently, after the taping this past Sunday, it was Nick Aldis' last night in Impact, so we'll see where he goes from there. But post-match, we get a very interesting return. The longest reigning Impact World Champion, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, comes out. He gets on the mic, looks right into Shelley's face. I'm back. And tosses the mic down. So, we're getting Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander in the near future. Yes, freaking please. And honestly, I'm going to say this, Impact Wrestling Slamiversary, top to bottom, was an excellent show. Despite the Sabin Leo Rush X Division title match, it was an excellent show. Not a bad night of wrestling at all. And I'm going to give the whole show a thumbs up. That was a great event. And then we go to Tijuana, as it's time for AAA TripleMania emanating from Tijuana, Mexico. And we start off with the Copa AAA Medina, which is basically Royal Rumble-esque rules, except instead of just over-the-top rope eliminations, it's also pinfall and submission. The two to start, Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel, which, yeah, they work really well together. Other entrances, Dynamico, I'm not sure who that is, really. Nino Hamburguesa, who is kind of more or less a joke character. Willie Mack. Then at one point, Mystices Jr. At about that point, Argius, who is the rival for Mystices, attacks him in the ring and eliminates him over the top. So that is our first elimination. Next in is the duo of Flammer and La Hydra, aka Los Toxicas. They come in together and just start ruling house for a bit. Next up is a very interesting name, Rey Mysterio El Gestora, aka the son of Rey Mysterio. Now, this isn't, Dominic Mysterio's brother. This is the son of the original Rey Mysterio, aka WWE's Rey Mysterio's uncle. So there is some family history. So it's pretty much Rey Mysterio's cousin. So that's pretty cool. Cool name in there. Next couple in, Mr. Iguana, who is a great character. Laredo Kid. Puma King, who I haven't seen in AAA in a while. And our last entrant, Taurus, who goes on an elimination spree, including Laredo Kid, Jack Cartwheel, Gringo Loco, Rey Mysterio, Dynamico. Eventually, Taurus and Mr. Iguana eliminate each other, which then leaves the final four, Jack Cartwheel, Willie Mack, and Los Toxicas. And, of course, the Toxicas work to eliminate both Cartwheel and Willie Mack, leaving the two to fight over the title. Initially, it's just a straight-up one-on-one, but for whatever reason, Mr. Iguana stayed ringside and helped La Hydra pick up the victory. In which, it's usual Lucha Libre stuff. I'm okay with it. It wasn't an entertaining battle royal, but overall, nothing really hurt, nothing really gained. Next up, first of two trios contests. This time for the women, as NWA Women's Champion Camille, her latest challenger Natalia Markova, and Viva Vane take on AAA's own Lady Shani, Sexy Star 2, and Dallas. And honestly, this was more of a fight than anything, especially between Camille and Dallas. Definitely some good Lucha Libre stuff going down. But overall, after a Meteora and a Brainbuster, I think, your winners, Team AAA, and the father-son ref duo get into it a little bit. So, we'll see what happens there. Next up, the men's trios division, as the NWA Tag Team Champions, La Rebellion, team with Pagano to take on Artemis, Jack Evans, and Vampiro. And I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get a little flack for it. I don't think Vampiro should wrestle anymore. He does not have it. He was definitely carried in this match a bit, especially with the weapons involved. About halfway through the match, the AAA Tag Team Champions come out. That's Commander and Arez. And they start brawling with the NWA Tag Team Champions. So, we kind of got a little story there. Eventually, they're thrown out by the ref. Match continues for a little bit. But then, all of a sudden, Taurus comes out, along with a masked man. They attack Pagano and Vampiro, continue the attack on the other competitors. And who's under the mask? Tahini? I'm not sure of this dude's name. And he and Taurus are bringing back a stable. I forget the stable's name. I do apologize. So, match goes to a no contest. Which, I mean, I guess it's fine. There's no reason to dwell on a no contest in a match as low stakes as this. So, hopefully we get La Rebellion versus the tag champs at another show coming up. So, we shall see. Next up, it's a bit of territorial warfare as Team Baja, which is Nico El Millionaire, who seems like he's a million years old, Damien Sace, Bestia's father, Ray Horace, and Extreme Tiger. If you don't remember Extreme Tiger, he was Tigre Uno in Impact. He was the longest reigning X Division champion ever, which, that's interesting, as they take on Team Chicago, who is Negro Cass, Chessman, Argis, and Daga. And, Daga, it's been a while since I've seen Daga, so it's good to see him in the ring again. Honestly, this was a bit more fun than the previous trios match. Definitely a lot going on. I especially liked Team Baja's jerseys they got on. That was pretty good. And honestly, action absolutely everywhere. Then after a low blow and a roll up by Nico, your winners, Team Baja. Now, originally these matches would have been elimination style, but apparently that took too long, so it's just one fall to a finish. Honestly, match was a lot of fun. A lot of good faces to see in the crowd. It was fun. Next up, a match I never thought I'd be seeing, but here we are. An ambulance match, and the first in AAA history, between Pentagon Jr. and QT Marshall, which, can't believe I'm saying his name on a AAA show. And honestly, this match was absolutely brutal. They threw absolutely everything at one another. Now, the ambulance was parked, really far away on the other side of the crowd. So, anytime they would go through the crowd, the camera would kind of miss them for a bit. Eventually, they did bring a camera down there. Penta hit a fear factor, kind of, from on top of some traveling cases through a couple of tables. He opens up the doors to the ambulance. Who's there with a fire extinguisher but Aaron Solo, who then hits Penta with a light tube, which, no more of that, please. Then QT hits the diamond cutter. Penta gets thrown into the ambulance. The doors close. Your winner, QT Marshall. Honestly, this wasn't that much of a wrestling match. It was a dang good fight, though. I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. Now, this next match was absolutely interesting, as it's technically the semifinals for the hair versus mask match, where the losing team would have to face each other one-on-one with their mask and hair on the line, respectively. The teams, you got Sam Adonis and Psycho Clown taking on Roosh and LA Park. Although, you could have told the other guys, because as soon as they came out, LA Park and Roosh brawled, Adonis and Psycho Clown brawled for a bit. Like, this is the ultimate can they coexist match. And honestly, no, they couldn't. They are some big rivals. Eventually, they did kind of get to fighting their actual opponents. And then, after a low blow and then a fireball, which I haven't seen a fireball spot in a long time. That was wild. And then a double pinfall. So, the American announcers were like, oh, is the ref talking about having Roosh and Adonis go one-on-one? That is not the case. Instead, it was revealed that a fatal four-way final for the mask versus hair match. So it's going to be Adonis versus Roosh versus LA Park versus Psycho Clown, in which the loser of that match, we're going to have to either get their head shaved, in the case of Adonis or Roosh, or get their mask taken off, a la LA Park and Psycho Clown. So, definitely an interesting start to the matchup. And as much as I don't like the no contest thing, I think this puts an interesting spin on the finale coming up. I mean, in here, there's really no serious way to end these two rivalries here. So to end it in the final, I think makes more sense. And finalamo, our main event of the evening for the AAA Mega Championship, as Hijo del Vikingo takes on Kenny Bagad Omega. Now, Omega did win the AAA Mega Championship in 2019, and he held it for like 900 days, but had to vacate it due to a myriad of injuries. And, yeah, Vikingo didn't beat him for the title, so that's where this matchup comes from. And then, before the match even starts, Don Callis comes out. He's looking to get involved. He's looking to cost Omega. Out comes Conan, who goes right into Don Callis' face saying, yeah, I'm not letting you mess with this match. This match is going down one-on-one. So either we can do this the easy way, where you just walk out, or we do this the fun way, in which Don Callis just walks out. And honestly, this match started off white hot right away from Kenny Omega, who actually kind of feels at certain points in this match tries to slow it down, which is interesting because it's not usually Kenny Omega's style. He's usually right up there in the speed with Vikingo. At one point, we had a V-trigger from the top rope, which just got countered. And then a 450 and a Phoenix Splash for a 2. Another 450 for a 2. Shooting Star Press that get countered. And then a big old 630 for the victory. And still, Mega Champion, Hijo del Vikingo. And to end the show, to bring out a couple of baby faces from the roster. They congratulate Vikingo. They take some pictures with him in the title. And it ends with a handshake between Omega and Vikingo. And honestly, this is only match 2 of their series. So, let's get a third. Let's get them. Maybe not too soon because Omega has Blood and Guts coming up on Wednesday. So, that could probably wait. Alright, that is it. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Other videos upcoming. I'll cover the first half of This Week in Wrestling. So, you got Monday Night Raw, NWA Power, Dynamite, which is this week is Blood and Guts, Impact, and MLW Fusion. That'll be covered on Friday. On Thursday, I'm going to give you my predictions for Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, which that's going to be Friday. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to be covering SmackDown Rampage. I may cover Collision, depending on what I'm doing. So, yeah, that should be it. Until next time. Happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.